The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, it's an issue that's seeing renewed anger among Bahamians, the practice of foreigners stealing Bahamian last names. Get this, one set of newly naturalized Bahamians even gave themselves the last name Pindling. Tonight, where do we draw the line? Meanwhile, the police boasting of lower murder numbers compared with this time last year. There is a troubling area that's showing an uptick, though. Also tonight, MICAL is emerging the most interesting race this election season, with several aspirants alone for the PLP. It's Robert Dubuque Karen who has put a major meet and greet on this weekend and is creating a lot of buzz. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, it's called Deep Poll, but Bahamians could care less. Daily Bahamians are becoming more and more frustrated. Why? Well, reading the newspapers. So why would reading the newspapers vex so many, you might ask? Well, what's frustrating are the notices published, notices of people looking to change their last names, sometimes their full names. What's vexing for Bahamians is the thought of having family legacies stolen, with families' names just being picked out of a bunch and used by anyone. This practice is a sore point. We have attorney Robin Lyne set to join me shortly. But first, we are going to begin with the Beyond the Headlines contributors. Good evening to you, Leslie Miller, Ellington, Ferguson. Thank you very much for being here. You all have heard the grumbling and the complaints for the longest while now. We saw something even going about today about people just vexed at this very thought, saying that what the law should be is that maybe families, particularly because there are so many common names and then there are other names like Pindling. They just how you could just come up to a nation and gain right to be in the nation and say you want your last name to be called Pindling. Gentlemen, this is something that we have seen taking shape and playing out for years. It seems too easy for one just to put a bunch of names in a bag and just seemingly choose one. Recently, there was a family who decided, as I said, to have their last name Pindling. I mean, why not? We've seen another family in the papers who chose the name Davis, for example. Why is this worrisome? Let's talk about that. And why should Bahamians be as angry as they are?
Good evening, Shanique, and good evening, Bahamas. Certainly it's a pleasure to be here once again. Shanique, this is very, very concerning. I'm not sure why is it important if you qualify for residency or citizenship or whatever it is. Why is the need to change from the name that you are to some Bahamian name to insert yourself into some a generation of Bahamians that have been here? What is your objective? What it is that these people are trying to do? I think this is something that we should be paying close attention to. This should bring a lot of concern among all of us here as Bahamians as to what is happening in the midst of us. Who's coming to joining with us, and what is the motive? Is there an agenda? We need to be concerned about these things. This I don't take lightly. And then look at the names that they're choosing. I mean, prominent names. What is happening? What is going on? I think our officials need to pay attention to these, and we don't just need to flippantly allow these things to just happen in our country. We've got to pay close attention to who's coming in among us and what is happening, what is going on in this country.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening.
It shows you the boldness of these people to have this attitude that they can do whatever they please. They can pick whatever name they please, go in the telephone directory, go in the graveyards and just pick a name. and we are dumb and stupid enough. Like I always say, you look in the dictionary under the word Bahamian, and you see the word jackass, you know. So they obviously went in Webster and figured who we were. And a lot of people are upset as I go door to door, and especially in the MICAL area. I know there people are concerned that they're sick and tired of what they perceive to be that their country is being taken away from them by a bold and brassy group of people that really don't care anymore about what they have to say about them or what they think about them. I think it's very concerning for all of us as a people that perhaps within the next 30 years, we may find ourselves to be a little poor to pay. I'll give you an example. Just on Saturday in Turks and Caicos, there was a shootout in a bar. Several people got shot.
Yes.
3 died by a Haitian group of fellas who had just decided they was going to kill some people, and they went to the bar and just shot the place. It's the first time in 38 years that they've had an accident of that magnitude that happened in Turks and Caicos. I don't believe Bahamas is too far from that place. Because if you look at some of the areas in the Carmichael Road areas that we go through, and you go through these little track roads, there are still villages there with gang of people living in there. And the fellas are getting bold and they don't know what you're doing in their yard. I said, man, this yard was, one Bahamian fella yard, yeah, but he dead. So now we live in here.
This is what you're told as you move about.
Yeah, we now live here. They were the people working for him, he gone. So now they take over.
See, Shanique, this is a new phenomenon that's taking place in the country. And what Leslie is speaking to is happening across this country. The people, they live on these people's property, and nobody knows. The people die out, and that they know the people die, and so they know that they basically has ownership. With this new phenomenon that's taking place in the country, sometimes you don't have laws to protect these things because we could not foresee these things happening. I think we need to look closely at it because, like a business name, if you have a business and I go to name my business, which is close to your name, close, not even exact name, but even if it's close, the business registry would not allow it.
If you are registering a business, they tell you send several names so that they can choose one that has nothing at all or
to do with another existing business.
Yes.
Exactly. And so I think for some, their family names ought to be protected. And families should be contacted or some sort of thing as it relates to this. Not just anybody can come and just, this is a legacy. This is how we trace who we are.
But imagine 100 years from now, 50 years from now, right?
100.
And you meet a 50, and you meet some people and their last name is Pinling. You would automatically assume
Exactly.
that,
They have to be
this is
associated.
the
that
lineage
but it's not.
of the father of Sir Lyndon Pinling.
Exactly.
I mean, and it's vexing, but gentlemen, what's even more vexing, when you think about it, it's a lot to really kind of think about and consider. When people are trying to shed their identity, and
why is that?
And why?
What are you running from?
What is it that you're running
what
from?
are you trying to
What are you trying to shake?
Is it that if we trace you back to your country, we'll find some heinous things about you? Is it that?
Criminality.
And these are the things that we need to look into. Do we look into these things? Is this a part of the process when these people apply for name change? Do we go and trace back to where they came from to see if you're running from this name because of some level of criminality you're involved in back where you came from that you're trying to distance yourself from? And so do we do all of these? Do the checks and balances?
Well, there's a 30-day window, as you all know. Now, I'm hoping that...
and that is for people to come forward who got time to pay attention
and
to
give
these
an
things.
objection, because many people
But to
don't.
say the authorities that are going to allow the change to do the investigation back where these people came from
themselves
to find out who they are.
Yes.
What are their names associated with?
You should not be entitled, the same way you shouldn't be entitled to citizenship, you shouldn't be entitled, if you so desire, to a name change.
Well, let me give you an example. In February, they pick up a group of Haitians. And one of the Haitians had a passport, Bahamian passport, with Edney Lockhart on it. That's a cousin of mine, God bless him, who was passed. With his picture in it, but he's Edney Lockhart. That happened.
No,
when Bahamians go to the States, we don't change our name. When Bahamians go to Canada, they don't change their name. When we go to London, we don't change our name. When we go anywhere around the world, we're proud and we keep our name. But this is how bold and brassy they are today.
Well, what if I tell you, gentlemen, this?
And worse than that, they can't speak no damn English and carry your name. That's the thing was
What
ready
if
for
you all are aware of something called deed poll? The deed poll is it immigration, I guess, legal term that this is about.
Yes.
What if I tell you all that according to the deed poll, they have every right to do so?
Yeah.
Now, attorney Robin Lyons was supposed to have been here. She's making her way here. When she comes, we'll see if we still work it in, depending on where we are in the show, and then maybe revisit it if we are too far along. But what I was made to understand, and speaking with her earlier in preparation for tonight's show, is the fact that these people, let's say, well, we saw the Chinese changing their name to Davis, their last name. We saw the Haitians change their name to any number of names, and I think it was Haitians doing the Pindling.
Yes.
But so we see, we saw Chinese, we've seen Haitians, right? Anybody can do it.
Was it a Haitian named Davis?
Well, here's
I mean,
Chinese.
Chinese.
No, Chinese.
They brassy now.
So here's what the deal is, though. They have a right to want to change their names to assimilate to the area they're in. So that now as a Bahamian, they're no longer Haitian, they're no longer Chinese, they're no longer whomever it is. They are now Bahamian because they've been naturalized. And so they have a right, according to law, to change that name.
$650.
So cheap. That's another thing. Should it be so cheap? Because they have a right to change their names to be able to be just as normal as anybody else. So that when you go somewhere and hear these names called, you'll be like, what? Who's that?
You know,
This
Trump
is why they have that
You know,
name.
Trump wouldn't accept that in America.
I
right?
don't
he would
think
not
one
oppose
should
them.
have to run from who they are. If somebody come here and been living here, and for whatever reason they have a right to residency, which I think that's another issue.
There's no right. The
We go.
government-
Hold on.
there's
Give
no
me a
right
second.
now.
Should be the privilege of
Whatever
yes.
the privilege that
No,
we
right.
extend to them, and they come to residency, obviously we just go straight to citizenship. That's another issue.
Exactly.
But I don't see why if you was Mr. Louis or whoever, you be Mr. Louis.
No, I don't do
We
no
all
Louis.
will assimilate.
lock up.
You're now a Bahamian. You don't have to change that. That's who you are. That's your heritage. Okay? That's where you come
It'll show
from.
you the false pretense
But now
right
you
there.
have joined us. You're a
It'll show you the
Bahamian
false
who is
pretense.
now a Louis or a Saint Remy or whatever else the name is. I
not
don't see the
Brown or
necessity
Rule.
to have to become a Ferguson or a Miller
Yeah,
or a Davis. That's not who you are.
Yeah.
What are you running from?
No, it is vexing.
It is.
And Bahamians feel assaulted and insulted by it, and they also feel as though that it's something that is hurting and stripping the legacy of many families. Many families who have worked for them and put themselves in a position to be able to do whatever it is and become the matriarchs and patriarchs of their families. And here it is, people can just walk up and decide that this is what they're going to do. I don't know how it is. Mind you, again, you have that window to protest. In fact, I understand the Pindling family did.
In 30 years, it ain't gonna matter.
They should, and I
They
said
be
that they
charged
should.
anyhow
See,
30 years.
Shanique, this is something
But
that is-
anybody can. The
This
thing
is something that is culturally who we are. When you say, I'm a Ferguson, they say, oh, Ackland's a Crooked Island.
they
When
really
you
can
say
identify.
Davis,
You're right.
that's culturally who we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every name is associated
Lockhart
with
is Ragged
some
Island.
island or the other.
Yeah,
That's
Lockhart,
culturally
Ragged
who
Island.
we are. And so
Miller,
when you go
Andrews,
ahead
or-
and just flippantly put any name,
You do it for Long Island.
almost lose an identity of a people.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell
That's
you.
what it's about.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for watching.
That's what it's
Abaco. Abaco says, listen, if I go to the United States illegally, I want to change my name. Can I change it to Abraham Lincoln?
That ain't happen.
Who knows, right?
Yeah,
But
try it.
again, you know, this immigration thing, it has so many different twists and turns. Among them is exactly this name change thing. We see it published in the papers daily, notices of name change. I'll tell you what the law says, and I think I'll go ahead now because we're wrapping up this first segment, and I don't see any trace of the attorney. And so what it is that you can, anybody, not just somebody of note, you can go and you can petition. Now, would they listen to you? Because if you're a Pinlin or Davis or somebody, but you can petition the passport office, and that can put a stop to that. This is what the law says. And so for those of you who see this stuff happening and who pay strict attention to that, because so many Bahamians now do so and are very angry and feel very assaulted by it, by what's happening, by just sort of the stripping of your name and your identity, your family's identity, for somebody who just can figure that they just go
Your
put
history, really.
your history, your whole, just everything, your life's work and who you are, you know. And like you said, Ellington, and you pointed out quite rightly, in the Bahamas, mainly a lot of people can say, oh, you are Ferguson from such and
Yeah,
such,
you know
and this
where
and
you're
that and the
from.
next. Yeah. And so again,
You got a heritage.
yes, absolutely. Well, we are going to take a first break this evening, and when we come back, we're going to keep this show moving. I wanted to get to that because that is a viral discussion that took place all weekend, quite frankly. I mean, it's been happening, but all weekend, and really a viral note that went around as well. And people are saying, listen, we need more clarity on this. We want this addressed, but that is what the law says. Of course, I'm not the attorney. Perhaps I'll invite her again so that she can really discuss this and we get a better understanding of what the deed poll is. This is Beyond the Headlines. We are back right after this. Stay close.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Welcome to Blissful Escapes, where luxury meets affordability. Whether you're seeking relief from aches and pains or simply looking to indulge in some well-deserved pampering, relax and detox in our infrared sauna. Enjoy a soothing Swedish massage or an invigorating exfoliating body scrub. We also provide advanced facial treatments using cutting-edge technology, including hydrofacial, microneedling, and microcurrent therapies, located at the shops of Cable Beach Plaza.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
Introducing Hands for Hunger's The Budget Gourmet, the sizzling new cooking show where five-star flavor meets everyday ingredients. From pantry staples to farmers markets finds, join Chef Mo as we turn local, low-cost ingredients into gourmet magic, one dish at a time. Want your brand on the table? We're now inviting sponsors to be a part of this delicious journey. Get in early and let your name shine where flavor meets finesse. The Budget Gourmet, everyday ingredients with a gourmet twist.
The Budget Gourmet. We're making it sweet, low cost meals you can't defeat. Tastes so good, it makes you move. Hands for Hunger is in the groove. The Budget Gourmet.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Leslie, I'll give you an opportunity to say exactly what you say. The comments are continuing to come in on this. I tell you, this is a hot button issue. One of the comments says, listen, saw a Chinese last name being deed polled to a Bahamian last name. Doesn't the law says a Bahamian has to own shares in Bahamian-owned company? So if a newly made Bahamian citizen starts long-line fishing to export our fisheries, are we prepared or appearing to give away our birthright, where normal Bahamians will no longer be able to afford to compete? That too is an issue, quite frankly, a concern, gentlemen.
You wouldn't know the difference because the guy's name is one of us.
No, you won't.
So I'm going to challenge the guy and say, you're not a Bahamian, and the fella got your name.
No.
Bahamian name. What you going to do?
No.
That's a hell of a way to sneak around and get things done. I don't blame them. Everybody got a plan, you know. The only people who don't have a plan in this country are the black Bahamians. Look at our look at our white brothers and sisters. Look at how far they have come by patronizing that, looking out for each other. We do the opposite.
Well, who do you blame? Because even today in
They hate you for
2025...
waking up in the morning. They hate, but you,
In
they call each other.
2025, I'll tell you this.
Okay.
In 2025, listen, we don't want to even go down that route.
Okay.
Because let me tell you, in 2025, Bahamians, or black Bahamians, are still very much hating and despising each other and working
Totally.
against each other.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So we
Okay,
could
I'm
talk
telling you.
about that and how we are, and that's just a pluralized we, because
Yes.
many of us don't subscribe to it.
No.
But we just hate each other.
Yes.
And so we will sell each other out for a flipping cup of tea. You know what I mean?
Nothing.
Doing it every day.
Listen,
Every day.
I tell
Happening
you.
right now as we speak.
Listen, amid growing public scrutiny over police accountability, Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles is declaring that internal investigations are not being buried. She announced that fresh resources have been mobilized to fast-track stalled cases and root out misconduct within the ranks. We get the story from Linton Ritchie Jr., and then we come back and talk about it.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force is ramping up efforts to resolve dozens of internal investigations, adding more manpower to its tribunal system to fast-track a backlog of cases that once stalled the department. 4 tribunal courts are now in operation as the force works to bring closure to 67 active cases. So far this year, 91 civilian complaints have been filed, putting a number of officers under the microscope, with allegations ranging from corruption to physical abuse and theft. Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles dismissed claims that the force has been slow to hold its own accountable.
Complaints and Corruption Branch, which is limited in investigators, is certainly putting a great effort into addressing all of these complaints.
Knowles said when she assumed the post, she inherited a wave of cases, some long delayed, and made it a priority to clear the docket.
To clear the backlogs that we've had for the 2024 and 2023 periods, and also to begin the court hearings on the 2025 matters.
Among the most high-profile cases under investigation, Inspector Alcott Forbes, accused of being caught on tape allegedly discussing potential criminal involvement. Reserve Constable Marquez Porter, accused of physically abusing a 4th-grade student at E.P. Roberts Primary School. Both cases remaining under active review. And to those who believe the force is protecting its own, Knowles had this response.
We will not tolerate any form or any kind of corruption. We know that there are some bad apples, and as we find them, we will weed them out.
No official figure was given out on how many officers have been terminated or disciplined, but so far, 20 cases have been closed, with 47 still ongoing. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Listen, I tell you the truth, when the people come in a live show and just figure they can take over, I tell you, that's the attorney. Robin Lyons, thank you very much for being here. We will pick up that discussion because I'll tell you it is something Bahamians want addressed. And then to have an understanding. I gave some details about what you said. I had another attorney who was giving me information even live and also asking questions as well. So we really want to just come in and sit with that. So I invite you back to really flesh that out because we didn't understand the things you always be saying in your legalese. But listen, gentlemen, we hear the Commissioner of Police saying that, listen, they are holding into account not just the criminal on the street, but the ones in the ranks of the force. And Bahamians really must begin to sort of rebuild that trust, and their actions are causing them to earn the trust again of Bahamians because they are holding police officers accountable. Your thoughts on the fact that just this year alone, she gave numbers of police officers who have been made to answer to whatever crime they would have committed?
I think Shanta Knowles came into a police force where the morale was extremely low. Her predecessor, Mr. Fernandez, talked about systemic corruption in the force. I don't think she believed that she would have come in as commissioner and immediately everything was going to right itself. I think she understands that her job is going forward. It's going to take a process. It's going to take some time weeding out bad apples and just dealing with it as it pokes its head up. It's not going to happen this month, not next month. It's probably going to happen over a period of a year or two. But it's an ongoing process. A lot of officers have been getting away with doing a lot of stuff, and we're to the point where it's become almost the norm on the force to do certain things and that you get away with it. So her task before her is great. I think she's up to it. I look forward to seeing her deal with it in a forthwith manner. Officers must know and understand that certain level of corruption will not be tolerated. Abuses on the police force will not be tolerated. And we've seen where these type of abuses have cost the country, in a lot of cases, a tremendous amount of funds of taxpayers' money. And so I want to give her the benefit of the doubt. I think she's on a good wicket, and I'd love to see her be very successful in this.
It was a very difficult year with the next few months ahead of her. You know, every other week as we come to the studio, here on the news, in the newspapers or here on the air, that some policeman has done something again. Just last week, the lady who did what she did in the police station out South Beach, and things like that, you know, it's rampant. And they must be resolved. The public must be aware of them.
Leslie, I'm right, because the public must be made aware, because had that video not been out there, that lady could have claimed anything. And I know, so she has her rights, and we're talking about the lady that relieved herself on, I think, and I understand it happened at 2 police stations.
Yes.
And just poor behavior. Now, those officers are under investigation because I don't know, maybe they denied her the right to use the restroom. Not quite sure. But the thing is, you know, those videos we see worldwide with police officers almost trying to cover their tracks and saying, listen, here's what took place. And if somebody is nasty and mean and someone is disrespectful, then they're treated that way.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Shanique, we know we got body cams, so we would love to see more of those in operation.
We would.
As police do their work. I think police have a mammoth task ahead of them. We have a lot of situations in this country that need to be brought under control. And so to protect the police, we would love to see those camera vests out there in operation. And our police that do a great work, get out there.
A lot of people give the police a hard time.
Do their work. Yes, I know, that's what I'm saying.
This is why.
That the police be able to do their work and is protected by those cameras as they do their work. And hopefully we can have dash cams installed in these vehicles also. As is the case in our neighbors to the north of the U.S. Make sure we have dash cams in these vehicles. Protect our loyal and hard-working police on the police force that is really protecting and serving this country.
To regain the confidence of Bahamian people, they got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, they do.
They need to pay close attention to it and weed out the bad apples as quick as you can.
Absolutely. It's an ongoing process. It's not something that happens. It's not a one-shot deal.
Yes, absolutely. Chance, I hear you. We're headed to a break, and when we come back, we're either going to continue with some more from the Royal Bahamas Police Force, but we're certainly going to get to what took place in MICAL over the weekend. I tell you, a lot of residents throughout MICAL are anticipating, how about that, about what's perhaps ahead. We will tell you all about it after this break. This is Beyond the Headlines. More in a moment.
My name is Omar Ferguson. I've been disabled now from 2009. What inspired me to start my own business? It was the determination to know that I still had something left in me, even though a lot of my independence, my mobility was being restricted. In my disability, it's kind of hard finding the investors or the capital. For example, national insurance. The benefit that we receive, it's a lifeline. And in any business that you're going to take, it's going to be a risk. We're not looking for handouts, but we want you to understand that we still need a little special care. This literally gives us a backbone that, hey, we could actually stand someday. This is the business I know it's going to be a risk. Even going through that process, I'm still dependent on national insurance. Overall, being in the program itself, it's put me in a place where I feel young again. I feel like anything is possible. I would say to others with disabilities, look around your community, just like you guys said in one of the modules. See what is needed in your community and go for it. Don't be afraid, just go for it.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Measles is on the rise around the world, and the Bahamas is at risk,
which makes us very vulnerable as a nation for the possible outbreak of measles cases.
Every Saturday in May from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Ministry of Health and Wellness will host MMR immunization visits in South Beach, Coconut Grove, Fox Hill, and Elizabeth Estates. Clinics in these areas will remain open until 8 p.m. twice per week. Get your child immunized now.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. With the sitting MICAL Member of Parliament set to step down, the seat is up for grabs from all sides of the political divide. A purported political aspirant on the ground over the weekend making major waves. Laurencia Smith spoke with a number of residents about the potential run, and then we come back and we talk about it. No. She spoke with, interviewed residents. Stop it. Stop. Okay. My people are looking for that story. Matter of fact, it's the top block of tonight's newscast. But let's move on. What the story is, right? And if you all have it, let me know. What the story is Robert Caron, who is now the head of the Tribune Media Group, is among a number of aspirants for the Progressive Liberal Party. Of course, we don't know as yet those aspirants for the Free National Movement or the Coalition of Independence for MICAL, but certainly those several for the Progressive Liberal Party are making their presence felt. He did so in convincing manner over the weekend, holding several meetings at different spots in the constituency. And apparently the people, number one, had a lot of questions for him, and he had a lot of answers, and also a lot of plans that people are seeing taking shape even now. Your thoughts about this this what's developing there in MICAL.
This is a wonderful thing again for MICAL. We've had a number of persons over the past few years who has had interest in MICAL, as you can recall. At one point in time, Mr. Gibson had the interest in MICAL, and now here comes Mr. Robert Karen, who's already got a number of initiatives going on for that area, who has been speaking with the people down there and talking to them about the initiatives, and it is actually the initiatives that he's been proposing for MICAL that has piqued the interest of the people, that they start saying, hey, you might as well be the man to represent us, because this is what we need. I think this could be a game changer for this area. This area have been neglected over the past years, and we've always had, for the most part, other than Mr. Great, token representative. I think Mr. Karen does not represent being a token representative. He represents somebody that can move the needle on the scale and cause some things to happen, cause there to be some level of development in MICAL. And that is what those islands in the south
No,
need.
MICAL desperately needs it.
Absolutely.
As you all remember, I think it was last year, yes, that I went to MICAL, and I heard from residents, it was Inagua in particular, heard from residents who called the show there. We had, in fact, a live hour with them, and they gave their opinions about how the state of MICAL and the fact that they love their wonderful quaint islands in the south, but they just need a little bit more to happen with the economy, so that and with the infrastructure, with healthcare, with all this stuff, so that they can just enjoy a good quality of life.
And I'm going to tell you, Shanique, the potential up there is phenomenal. You have right now, without the necessary infrastructure, you have cruise ships and yachts that periodically pass in there. They can't really get people to get off like they want to and explore, because we don't have the proper infrastructure. But the potential is huge in MICAL, and so
you know, Robert Karen would be a hell of a story if he gets the PLP nomination, which I expect he will get. I've known him for the last 20 years of my life. Nice, regular fella, you know, regular Bahamian, knows the structure of the country. He's in tune with what is going on in the Bahamas today. He's following his footsteps of the late great Sandy Depuch, who represented that area. I think he won back in 1952. He was a representative. I think he served 2 times in Parliament. And then he went on his illustrious career in journalism and did a stellar job. So he has some big feet to fill. I believe he's up to the task of representing those people to the best of his ability. A lot of people like myself would be wondering now, what is this fellow from the roots that he came from? Want to go back to Auckland's Crooked Island and the other places, 5 islands in the south.
You did kind of wonder where the interest came. Yeah.
You know, did it emanate from his grandfather? Or
history.
You want to repeat history to go back to his roots from a man who served and did a hell of a job in Parliament. In fact, he fought for the blacks.
Yes,
believe
he did.
It or not.
As a matter of
He
fact,
was a freedom fighter.
That's a part of our history.
And he had many fights with the late great Arahana. In there. They won the same record in many cases fighting, because Mr. Hanna too is from MICAL. Don't forget, he's from Auckland. You know, and they had this friendship, even though they had their fights. They became very friendly with each other, very respectful of each other, because their thoughts for the uplifting of the people in that southern area was so important to them. It'll be a hell of a thing to see happen. I look forward to the way ahead.
To tell you the truth, I'll get on the ground up there and work with him and make sure that this happens. He really have my support 100%. And I say to my people in MICAL, especially in Auckland and Crooked Island, listen, this is our time. This is our time to rise from the ashes and begin to shine in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Yeah, I was just happy for them, because you all remember when I went there, and you know the videos and the show went viral. I remember from with that, yes. Yeah, and it's just obviously the state of very key, the airport and other things, just really deplorable.
Now I must take you to Auckland's and Crooked Island. You've got to see Auckland's and Crooked Island.
Work to be done.
I must take you there.
Oh, it's different?
I'm extending an invitation to you.
I am sure he would rise to the occasion and do well on behalf of those
Yes,
people.
yeah, absolutely.
And
That's
hold
the
my mind.
that's the most
Do a
important
show
thing.
from Auckland.
That's the most important thing. Well, hey, listen, guys, speak with the sales and marketing department, and we certainly would be there. We would love to
Alright,
be there,
let's do it.
beyond the headlines. Meanwhile, gentlemen, I'll tell you, Shane Gibson, many of the residents of MICAL wanted Shane Gibson to sort of put his hat in the race, not just now, but well before now.
Right.
That never absolutely took off. I know that Jose Etienne spoke with Shane earlier today, and if we have that story, guys, let me know. We can just go to it and perhaps just talk about the member of parliament that Shane Gibson would have made.
I'm done with politics, period. I have no more political aspirations.
The end of a storied chapter for veteran Progressive Liberal Party politician Shane Gibson, who is officially bowing out of public life after serving for 15 years. He's calling it a career, a decision that also quashes speculation that he was mounting a political comeback in the next general election in a constituency that he had his sights fixed on.
If you call MICAL right now, MICAL want me to come down there. But I decided I am not running anymore.
His decision to step aside comes 2 years after a failed attempt to re-enter frontline politics. Gibson was rejected by the PLP as a candidate hopeful for the West Grand Bahama and Bimini by-election in 2023. During that time, his feud with PLP's sitting chairman Fred Mitchell also came to light. But 2 years later, Gibson says that had little to no impact on his decision to move on.
They don't decide. I decide when my political career is over, and I decide now. That's it for me. I mean, the only thing a political party could do is decide if you run for them.
The former trade unionist turned member of parliament and cabinet minister jump-started his political career with the PLP in 2002. That's when he served as immigration minister until his resignation in 2007 amid growing controversy that placed the country under an international microscope. He was re-elected in the Golden Gates constituency in 2007 and once again in 2012, marking his second stint as a cabinet minister. But controversy still followed Gibson even after he was voted out in 2017. The former cabinet minister faced bribery allegations in 2019, allegations that his defense team argued was a direct result of malicious prosecution. Nonetheless, the Davis-led administration reached a $2.5 million settlement with Gibson in 2022. And although he's stepping aside, he says he's leaving behind a proud legacy.
Urban renewal was started under me. The National Health Insurance was started under my ministry. The National Training Agency was started under my ministry. When I was in the first time, I built 1,500 houses, and that was 5 years. And then I was there. Had a whole almost hundreds of contractors hired to make sure those houses were built.
Gibson's announcement now marks a definitive end to one of the PLP's most chatted political figures in recent years. Jose Etienne, Eyewitness News.
Well, gentlemen, there you have it. Of course, someone who too was being, courted by the residents of MICAL to say, hey, listen, come give representation. They only wanted for the longest while just a representative they felt would have done good by them. And so, but you hear Shane Gibson saying, listen, he's deciding to obviously step away from that. And so obviously it's quite interesting what's shaping up and taking shape in MICAL. It'll be interesting too to see who he gives his support to or his nod of approval in terms of those who have now thrown their hat in the ring for this upcoming election. And so that'll be interesting to see.
I think, Shanique, MICAL wanted and needed someone that could get things happen, someone that can make things happen. I think they saw that in a Shane Gibson. He has demonstrated that during his tenure as Member of Parliament and Cabinet Minister. He's a go-getter, a worker. And I think that is what MICAL needed, and that's what MICAL has been looking for. We tired of just a token member to make up the number of any political party. No, we need somebody that's going to get in there, that has the ability to bring in what is needed in MICAL and to cause things to happen to MICAL for that community to begin to grow. And moving from Shane, I think Shane Gibson served well. I think he's made his decision not to go on. And hopefully in Mr. Karen, we have somebody that can cause these things to happen.
Shane Gibson is a dear friend of mine. He's one of the greatest MPs in history of our country, bar none.
Absolutely.
What he did to his constituents was just amazing. He was always there for them. And as a cabinet minister, we sat together in cabinet from 202 to 207. He was the man that got things done. And one of the things that most people love about him, including myself, his word meant something. If he gave his word, you didn't have to worry about it. It was going to get done. You know, and he was a hell of an MP. And I don't think, most people say that he, along with Fred Mitchell and the Port King, were in the same boat. And I was happy to be mentioned in the same sentence as him, as a member of Parliament who really took care of their constituents and really worked for and on behalf of the Bahamian people at large. Did a wonderful job, wonderful, wonderful job. And I'm sure his family is proud of his tenure in Parliament, as his constituents are too. And Bahamians everywhere. You know, and he's now retired like myself. You know, Fred ain't going nowhere, so we got to hang around.
What does
see
that
what Fred
mean,
does.
Dusty? What does that mean?
No, Fred has nothing to do. Fred tell you point blank, his whole life is politics. He's never going to retire. He has nothing else to do. So we'll take him out of Parliament in his casket, a nice brown casket, and when he's ready, we'll send him home. But he isn't going anywhere.
Oof,
not this lifetime.
Interesting.
No, it can't happen. He made that clear. You know, but some of us,
I didn't hear it,
walk
you know.
away.
I thought at one point he announced that he wasn't running or
No, that
is
ain't
running
gonna
or something.
No, that can't.
But in any event,
And he's such an extraordinary Minister of Foreign Affairs that we are so proud of as a Bahamian. He could represent us anywhere in the world. He's one of the best we ever had, and he does a stellar job. You know, I'm very proud of his service to the Bahamian people, but he ain't going nowhere.
Well, gentlemen, I'll tell you this. Let me know in the back if we have this next story. I'll tell you this, though. Grand Bahamians would be happy to hear this because there were a number of people calling me and wanting to know they need an update of the Grand Lucaya and what's going on with that, what's happening. Is it real? Like, is it tangible? Is stuff happening? Like, when is it going to happen? And so just 2 months after the government inked a an $827 million agreement with Concord Wilshire Capital for redevelopment of the Grand Lucayan Resort. Yeah, $827 million, they said. Minister of Grand Bahama and Pine Ridge, Member of Parliament Ginger Moxie says operations are already underway for the hotel. Moxie emphasizing that the purchase marked a new chapter for the nation's second city. And once the development or the redevelopment is completed, Grand Bahama will feel the success.
With all eyes set on a much-anticipated tourism rebound in Grand Bahama, priority remains on preventing room shortages and ensuring hotel properties deliver unforgettable experiences to every visitor. One property leading the charge is Viva Wyndham Fortuna Beach, an all-inclusive resort with 247 rooms that promise scenic views, an open-concept layout, and immediate access to pristine, tranquil shores. And according to hotel officials, guest numbers are soaring.
Don't have like low season. There is like more high season in May, July.
From relaxation to non-stop adventures, the resort boasts a diverse range of experiences, all designed to celebrate the culture and spirit of Grand Bahama.
The love that we put in everyday tasks we do for our guests. They enjoy all the stays because from you came and you do the check-in, that's experience for you that you're taking from the Bahamas.
Whether it's pickleball, the resort pool, or a quick stroll to the ocean, guests never stay idle. And according to management, the feedback has been nothing short of exceptional.
Feedback is good because we are a familiar resort and we will be able to be creating memories.
As part of the global Wyndham brand, officials say Viva Wyndham's tropical location gives it a competitive edge, operating year-round at a minimum 80% occupancy. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Okay, obviously that is not the right thing. It was a SOT, sound on tape, with the minister and member of parliament. Guys, what's happening back there? What's going on, y'all? It's Monday. It's Monday. Let's see, we want some coffee? What do you need? Yeah, the minister giving an update on exactly where the resort stands is something that we ran in the newscast. And if you remember that, she said that everything is on schedule to happen with this resort. And in fact, it's already happening. It obviously something as big moving as what we saw a moment ago. It's like a huge ship, so it takes a minute to happen. So in fact, let's hear it. I'm told we have it now.
It's progressing, you know. Of course, there was a sale, and so we're just looking forward for what's next. I think the Prime Minister would have spoken on it recently. I'm just excited that finally there's movement on the hotel, and Grand Bahamians, Grand Bahama Island is moving in the right direction.
Well, I wish he had said more than that, because believe me, the people want to know more than that, Madam Minister, there in Grand Bahama. But you all, we've got to hold her to her word. And so we trust that that's exactly what is taking shape, that the Grand Lucayan Resort is sort of phasing out, and this new project that's $827 million is now replacing it.
Absolutely, Shanique. This has been hanging in the balance for far too long now. And like you said, I wish she had something more tangible than that little snippet that she said. What people want to see now is, number one, no timeline was given as to when what will happen and all of that. And so, but people really want to see now work going on. People want to see this work to begin to redevelop and redesign this whole process. So she basically said what was said at the signing. So that doesn't go too far. But the government has a lot of hanging here as Grand Bahamian anticipate the commencement of the development of this new project.
Listen, this project must take place, bar none.
Not
There's
next
so much
year.
on the line right now with this project. That the sooner they initiate this project and get it started, the better off for the Bahamas and the government at this time. It has to happen. And I would wish they would just get it on and make the people happy in Freeport, and all the questions that are being asked would be answered once that takes place.
Just keep people informed. That's really what's necessary, because obviously if it's 2 months, you know, it may take a little longer than that to get things moving, but keep people informed with good information that they can use.
Positive information.
Exactly, and that means something. By the way, I'm just getting from BTVI that classes will begin in Mayaguana. And so again, we're talking about the revitalization of MICAL. That's what's taking shape there. So Austin, let me know if we have this story, please, as we wrap up this evening. The investigation into a fatal stabbing incident on board a cruise ship in Bahamian waters continues. In this report, Devontae Hanna shares the latest from the police.
The guy jumped overboard and drowned.
This is a stabbing, apparently. Okay, so you know what? I'm not going to hang around for that story. Leslie and Ellington, if we can just wrap up, I'll give you each an opportunity to talk about this weekend's events, the fact that the political season is really in gear. I don't know if we're in for an extended campaign season or what's happening, but certainly every political organization now has a point to prove, including the government. How do you see things shaping up?
This is a very, very interesting political season, and I'm watching the various political parties get their thing in motion. Let me talk about the Progressive Liberal Party first. I watched the Progressive Liberal Party is putting things in a slow stride. We saw a few weeks ago, they had the Eastern Corridor where they pulled those members of Parliament. I think it was Foxhill, Yamacraw, and Seabreeze. They pulled them together and they had that little rally. And now you see them a few weeks later, they're moving into this central, if I may, which is right down in Angliston, Centerville, and I think Freetown and those. And they kind of gradually, like a train, getting this wheel moving in slow motion. And so this is what you're going to see happen with the Progressive Liberal Party as they move slowly in these different communities and put out these little mini rallies, so to speak, to get their fan base all riled up and all ready for the real campaign trail that's going to come later on this year. You're going to begin to see them do little stuff like this in Grand Bahama, then they're going to do it in the Family Islands. On the other hand, I'm watching as the official opposition, the Free National Movement, in its attempt to get its candidates all together, is having a whole different situation taking place in the midst of them. A lot of infighting and they can't get past this candidacy thing. And it seems like every time they try to put out more candidates, more fires, more wars are created. The Free National Movement has a lot of work to do. The Free National Movement is a great organization. They've been here before. They've been in this kind of infighting before, and they were able to come out victorious. Can they do it? Can Pintard, like a former Hubert Ingram, pull the forces together, unite the forces and say, listen here, everybody, let's move forward. That has yet to be seen as they continue to fight and war among themselves. And you see fights on every front, fight in the west, in the north, and the south. They've got to pull it together in order to be a real contender against what the Progressive Liberal Party is coming up with. They've got to be able to pull us forward.
You know, as we get into the gist of the political season, we should be conscious of what is going on. Last week, the leader of the COI lost his case at the Privy Council. He now has the famous roller, $64,000 plus interest. We hope. He said that he would have that check for her today, actually. I'm hoping that's a good check. Drawn on a credible bank in this country that the lady can now go on with her life. And he don't play these silly games that he's been playing for the last 2 years. I'm told she was in the hospital a few weeks ago. And she's really hurting, so these things need to be done. The PLP, I understand, is having a rally tonight on Road Road at the University of Bahamas, where Sir Lyndon, God bless him, used to have those marvelous rallies. They look like they're on the move. The FNM is stuck in reverse, really, with all the fighting with the candidates. Apparently, the candidates committee is going totally against what the constituency persons would wish to have done, who they wish to have represent them. So, you know, we're going to see what's going to happen the next week or two before we head into September, which will be the last year of the present government's rule as the government. Have one more year left after that. Interested to see what happens. These are very trying times for all the political parties. There's a rally tonight, and I guess there'll be one soon again. I understand that the leader of the opposition is now on vacation. Mr. Ingham is now heading the team.
Stop it. Leslie,
What's wrong with that? You couldn't find a better man. That means you'd be damn glad Mr. Ingham heading the team. Something may happen, positive anyhow.
Leslie, who told
with all
you
the
that?
fighting. I'm telling you what's going on. He's now getting stuff together, so we'll see what happens before the brother come back off his vacation. He may have to stay there if things go right. You know, but we can see what happens.
The next the Free National Movement is either scrap or salvage.
Yeah.
They've got to make that decision. Yeah. It's time you scrap what you got and
they may got to
rebuild,
find a new leader.
Or are you still able to salvage what you have?
They may have to find a new leader.
Scrap
I
or
thank
salvage.
you all so much for tuning in this evening. Certainly enjoyed having you along, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire, by the way, thank you very much to Leslie Miller and Ellington Ferguson. Thank you. Thank you. Got to shut them up quick. Yeah, got to shut these dudes up.
You didn't want to go there?
No, sir. Not at all. I thank you all so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening.